suppose everybody, they had someone maybe a little better, So I look out the door and look down the street and up, not a car moving. The state hadn't got out yet. Nothing was ploughed. Town wasn't ploughed. It was a sneaky storm. It come in during the night and nobody was ready for it. So I looked down, Eel Street. I thought I saw somebody coming. And there was Mr. Northcott. He had service, I guess, about 10 o'clock or something like that, church. And you were headed for church. But you couldn't get your car out of the yard. Your own car was in the yard, but the snow was banked up so high they'd come through the night before, and then it snowed then another, which wasn't supposed to come. We got a second one top, but he didn't get out anyhow, so he's coming walking. So he has to walk from up here down all the way to the church. So I hollered across the street and I said, "Hey, Mr. Northcott, would you mind driving my old truck?" And he said, "No, I would love to." And you come over, and of course his feet, he's boots on, and no boots, just regular shoes. And I looked down and I said, "Boy, his feet's all wet to me. Please get down." So he got in the shed and he got into that old style. I said, "You can drive a standard shift?" He said, "Oh, sure."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's all there was.
Yeah, I drove it?
Yeah, you drove it. So you took the truck down.
Oh, well, yes.
This is the thing I remember most. So nobody was still moving much. So you got down, you got to church over there early, I guess. And you pulled up in front, but there was a couple of deacons or somebody meeting the people there at the door as they went in. And you went in and someone said, I guess, that Dan Carey's here. Everybody didn't know me, but they knew the old truck. So I said, "Dan Carey's here." So everybody went on about their business. There were only, I guess, 6 or 8 people got there all together. And when the service was over, one of the fellas come in to me and he says, "Hey, I see your truck at church this morning."
Yeah.
He says,
Oh, gosh.
he says, that was said. And he said, Northcott Commander, when he got up on the pulpit, he said, "No, Carey isn't here. He was at mass this morning. He got home, and now he gave me his truck to come to church service here." Do you remember that?
Yes.
And
Yes, I think so. You remember more than I remember.
Yeah, the old truck. You took the old truck back, and then you walked down home. But people went through a lot. Didn't have a lot of stuff. He wasn't rigged out to go. He just got out to get in the car and couldn't get up the street. Everything was.
That made me think, when driving in the snow.
Yeah.
That was in Kensington.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me his car, see?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to drive in snow. I came over a hill. I was down there last week
And Kensington.
for somebody's celebrating 50 years of so on.
Yeah.
I was a part of his life. And I came down over what they call Shaw's Hill, but there's snow on the ground. And I began slipping, and I said, "Well, we'll do this, but put the brakes on." I got it out in the snow, and I said, "Keep her going," hit the telephone pole, went right through it. Telephone pole went back. Somebody came up and looked at me, he said, "What happened?" He thought I was just powdered, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and then I know what they did with the telephone pole, but I never heard anything about it. It just went right back over my head.
So you knocked it right off?
Yeah, well, I got a swollen arm or something out of it.
Yeah.
But that same one, I thought I would dabble. Oh, I got to tell him something. I thought I would dabble in fixing the car. To give me trouble, I took it all apart. Said I didn't know how to put it together.
Yeah.
I called the fellow who gave me the car. I said, "I need a hand."
Yeah.
He came up, boy. He was a real mechanic. When he saw this stuff laid out on the floor, he was, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things he didn't say.
No, he kept them to himself.
A lot of things he didn't say.
But he got you fixed up?
Yeah, but he had 3 pieces. He said, "I don't know where these go."
Yeah.
This started. It kept going.
That happened to
And
be a
along,
watch one time.
and along with this thing, I haven't tell them, but in Kensington, see, this was a farm community, chickens,
Yeah.
had a lot of chickens. And I said, you know, if I'm going to get along with these people, I should know something about the chicken business, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I had this huge barn.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm going to get some pullets, you know? So I got 500 pullets.
You did?
Yes, up over it.
Yeah.
And I didn't make any money, but I made a little bit of money, but I didn't make very much. So I said, I'll do it next year, right.
Yeah.
And next year they got the disease that's been taken care of long since, coccidiosis.
Yeah.
Cleaned them out.
Yeah.
See? And I never did any more
So
chickens.
you could.
But I could talk to the chicken people about the problems that were going through.
At least you knew what was going on, the business they were on. In the old days, there were a lot of, I come around here first, New Hampshire was full of chicken houses, like Marshall's up here, where they come, you know, you'll see as you go up the road here, there's a stand on the left-hand side to sell pumpkins. You might have noticed there. Well, that was a farm there, that's what that was, a chicken farm. They used to have several houses, you know, there were thousands of chicken there. And Bushy's up here on Elm Street, they're a chicken farm. Another one over here on Borough Road, another chicken farm. Then over in Canterbury, those Wheelers, there was a lot of chicken.
Oh, well, I still carried on with chickens. Next door to me was an old retired preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Who kept fighting cocks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Seabrook was the place with the fighting cocks.
Yeah.
And this devout man, I couldn't figure out how he could take these fighting cocks and do what he did. And on Sunday, he was on his way one Sunday down for a contest. Somebody met him. Don't go, he said. You're going to be raided today. And so he went back, but they were raided. He would have been arrested. But I had some barred rocks, they call them.
Yeah.
Grays, big ones. I had a huge rooster.
Yeah.
And this fighting cock used to come over.
Yeah.
By them, and, you know, just stir him up. And he said, you know, I think I should let you out and see what you can do. But I don't think he'd ever.
They were tough little things.
Sure, they got spears in there.
Oh, yeah, they're tough.
Spears.
It's against the law, I guess, now to have them. You can't raise them.
Yeah, these chickens had what they call, the guy who sold them to me, he says they got spizzerinctum.
Spizzerinctum.
They grew, they were real big. But now I was down there for this anniversary. I officiated at his wedding. That town that somebody told me 50 years ago
Would be like
had not changed in 50 years. It had not changed in 250 years, see? The chickens and farms and so on. Wait for the next 25. But we had to wait for 50.
Yeah.
And now the town was 300 when I was there. It's over 3,000. Beautiful, almost palatial houses.
Yeah.
They've cut into the timber, you know, and so on. 2 or 3 houses here, 2 or 3 houses here. Little boundaries.
That's closer to Massachusetts than here, right?
No, that was New Hampshire.
Yeah, but I mean, Kensington is fairly close.
It's Amesbury, right on the border.
Yes, right on the border.
Right on the border.
All the command belt.
And
that land's worth some money down there.
the land is worth some money.
Yeah.
There's a great contribution that they're bringing to it, but it's only to give you something to feed your, what should I say, the outer man.
Yeah, there's more money in that there now.
That's the
With the new developments, but there'll be a lot of changes. It'll change the whole atmosphere of the place.
Boy, you know, Bishop O'Malley said something the other day about our time. It was not very nice, not very good. What he said about the time. Yeah.
No, what I say, you've
And
done it.
and this man who has been working with the United Nations about where we got whether we got this world what do you call it? The things they're trying to find. Did Saddam
Oh yeah,
have
yeah.
all of
They're
this stuff?
supposed to have nuclear weapons, and
Uh,
he didn't have them.
and he just got out of Spain,
Yeah.
took a taxi. If he'd been there another hour, he would have been a part of that thing that blown up.
Yeah.
Got out, he says, "What a world we live in."
Yeah.
Is what it says. That's all he said.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about he was a just man. And he is a just man. You can find in him a friend. You can find in him a helping hand. He can tell you a good story. And he brings with him something that is essential, generic, that kind of makes us who we are. I don't know how to put that. I don't know how to put that. You know, because he learned it from the soil. He learned it from the chickens. He learned it was a hands-on with nature. And those times, and then, you know, the thing that you were saying when your father said, "Go ahead, do that," you know. It was a respect that he had for you, that you're going to do something useful, something creative. As respect that he had, you know. As compared, sometimes we want our kids to succeed. We want our kids to succeed. And I think we're what's the saying is, we're rich in things but poor in soul. I don't think we're perfect by any means, a perfect society. And I said where I grew up, you know, there was such segregation and such bitterness. You know, you ever heard the old Orange Society?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, it's terrible. And our people used to have 12th of July, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
So
12th of July was a
see, I've forgotten.
Yeah. 12th
Well,
of July.
the only thing I remember is not that we celebrated the guy that rode the white horse.
Yeah.
Huh?
But that was a day that.
Yeah, and anyway, but it was always a day out for us. Mm-hmm. They went out, the town went out and had and we were going into a place called Glenwood. Glenwood was a Catholic place. So here are these Orangemen coming through the train, says, "Now watch it.
Yeah.
You might be blown up before you get there." That's what they said. And they may have knives. And we were scared to death. When we got off the train, I was looking for somebody to, you know, start staring at me. And here I saw somebody smile at me. I couldn't figure that thing out then. Nobody did a thing. Almost like you could turn around and walk away from it and said, "They're telling me a bunch of lies." But they also told me, on the other hand, we should love one another.
Yeah.
See, that got put on top of it.
Yeah.
And my mother, I would confront her with this. She was caught in the system.
Yeah.
See, she gave me all the hints, you know, like, go ahead, widen, or embrace. But that was the system.
Yeah.
If you went out too far, you got clipped.
You got clipped.
See?
Well,
And now I have a freedom and to see what essential in what was brought up that I was given, but liberate to embrace.
Yeah, yeah.
See, and I see, if somebody, I meet a person, he or she is a person. I accept them where they are. Somebody might have come up and said to me, keep away from that guy, or that guy, look, you know. I said, I don't want to know that. That's what you know. Give me a chance to say hi, and to find out for myself if this is an enemy or not. See? But don't prearrange my life. See? And here's sometimes, even the best of us, we got to watch that. Because, you know, sometimes the kid will say, you know, you don't have to put it in words, I know what you're talking about. You can almost see our inflections, we can express them. Here's one, you talk about boundaries. Now, in the war, I don't know who did it, but I think, now I still refer to like the Americans.
Yeah, yeah.
Called the Newfoundlanders Newfies.
Yeah, Newfies.
I wasn't there when they called them Newfies. But when I hear it, it's like, you know, not so good. It kind of sets you back a bit, you know? It's not complimentary. That's always hits to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's a certain kind of people.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Well, sometime, it was not too long ago, we're talking about Newfoundland, and this person said to me, oh, you're a Newfie. I don't know what happened. I up here, I didn't sense anything. There was an expression on my face.
Yeah.
There was something like this, and she came back, oh, that's not a bad word.
It's not a bad word.
You see, she had gotten something that I was not going to, that was beyond my words. I wasn't going to say it. I was accepting what it was, but she picked it up. It's that kind of stuff. What we call institutional sometimes, we carry. I sat one year for a week with 25 blacks and 25 whites. What we call institutional racism. Institution, see, what's your part? Nobody had any of that. Everybody loved everybody. Yeah. When we first came on, before we were through, we had people crying. They were crying. As some of the things we were saying had already been imparted to us. Almost, you know, we'd taken on something of the society. We hadn't taken on what the real teachings and things were. We'd taken on how it was interpreted and so on and so forth. We didn't get down to the basic of who we are. Because, see, that's the thing about me. We hit each other off before we knew we were black or white or red or brown or anything.
Yeah.
Huh?
We just had it off, just was everything.
Yeah.
Talked, because I got to get this joke in. when we're in the store, and as I said, the Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and of course I used to think these were the greatest places in the world because, you know, I come from an island, I'm from Ireland, so it sounds, when they get done talking, I figure, well, these are guys from home. So then they told their story, one would say to the other, by the way, have you heard this or not? Well, all right, I said, I like the Newfoundland people likes the ones in Nova Scotia. He said, we like them pretty well. I said, during the war, I said, we used to pick up a grenade and throw it over to see if they would throw it back to us.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
And then they would say the same about Prince Edward Island. They would, from Nova Scotia, they would say, well, if you're in Nova Scotia and you want to, you know what, somebody in Prince Edward Island throw you over a grenade to see if you'll run to pick it up to throw it back.
Yeah, But now that I'm removed from Newfoundland,
Yeah,
you're removed from Ireland,
yeah,
and the boys are, are removed from Prince Edward Island.
yeah.
You know, we're still in this union, and we've left something behind,
Yeah.
or something.